And the games get more awesome as we speak, guys. Here we have, spawning in the bottom left corner, he is Daisy from ESC.
And spawning in the top right-hand side of the map, we have CSC's Turuk as the purple Terran. Terran versus Protoss. I'm trying to remember, did we cast the Terran versus Protoss yet? The games have been going by so quickly, I can't quite remember any of them.
Well, I kinda start to anticipate that today, instead of going to bed very tired after casting the tournament, I will just play on my PlayStation or whatever. Because this tournament is going so, you know, in such a crazy speed, such a crazy pace. Probably Jean-Luc Picard had something to do with it, but then we can never prove that. So anyway, Turuk going for a safe opening, and it is going to be barracks, of course. No gas, so no Reaper harassment early on, no extra fast Hellbats, nothing of that sort. Daisy, if he didn't take a gas before a gateway, or if he didn't go for anything cheesy, then I think we can safely say he is going to go for one gate core and then into expansion.
Yeah, I think one gate core into expansion is a very safe call, and this is one of those situations where I wonder if Daisy is going to try and harass with his mothership core. We can see a second barracks now being placed down by Turuk, and this is before a gas has been placed down. So what do you make of this? This isn't a one max expand.
Also before the usual orbital command. So this is a style of play that we see from Marine King Prime most often. He's usually going for first he goes to racks, then he goes for orbital command. And this actually doesn't cost you all that much, and you get an extra advantage in your offensive or defensive abilities depending on where your marines stand. Now, with the Mothership Core addition, we have seen, I think, every single game last tournament, people were harassing like crazy with the Mothership Core, and it's not because it can kill off marines easily. No, it really can't, but then you can deal a bit of economical damage by using the time warp ability on the worker line, and that is actually so good. It slows down the workers by 50%. So if you place that down around the middle of the mineral line, especially where the mules are, you are dealing economical damage, and tons of it.
Yeah, so that mothership core originally being used as a defensive unit, now finding a new role in harassment, as we're seeing a lot of marines. So this type of strategy, I'm assuming this 2-rack style is there to handle that mothership core, as 1 rack's marines isn't going to be enough to slow it down. Let's take a look though. Daisy instead going for a faster nexus instead of going for that mothership core, even though Daisy has not even seen the inside of Turuk's base.
I think we can expect that happening a lot, where players will be playing good old style that they know and are comfortable with from Wings of Liberty instead of using the new units. So it will take some time for them to get all comfortable with the new units. But then let's see what happens this game. Maybe Daisy has some, well, I'm quite sure he has, to be honest. He must have some sort of a plan in the back of his head. He's getting back with the Stalker to his own base now, and only 2 free Stalkers to defend this push. I'm not sure, you know, he stands a lot of chance. He probably will suffer some damage. Although very good micro with the Stalkers already taking down the workers. He needs to be careful not to lose his Mothership Core, because Turuk could sacrifice his marines in a reckless assault to take down the Mothership Core, but then he doesn't have enough of them. 2 bunkers being built, but it seems all the marines will get taken before any of the bunker finishes.
Yeah, I think Daisy just handled... Oh, 1 Marine jumps inside in time, and this is actually a bit cute. I thought that the Marine wouldn't make it, and instead, the Mothership Core and the Stalker are simply holding the ramp, hoping to intercept any additional Marines. Now, 1 Marine in a bunker, you're not altogether that scared. SCVs sitting inside the bunker, auto repair. Oh, 2 more Marines might be able to sneak in, and with this actually becomes a little bit more of a threat.
Yeah, and this 1 Marine probably has been a Bruce Willis Marine, just jumping into that bunker at the last minute, bleeding to death, but still not dying. with the sound of UPKA on his mouth, and he made it. Now, a very good and smart positioning. Oh no! This one additional Marine gets there. Not so good for Daisy, although he's very patient about this. I kind of admire him right now. Very smartly positioned 2 Stalkers, which will be taking down any support that goes here. He already has a small force of Zealots that will be just enough with the support of the Nexus Cannon to take down these bunkers. And yeah, that's it. The threat has been dealt with. Let's sum up the damage that has been dealt, and actually this has cost Terran a lot more than the Protoss. Daisy has handled this perfectly, and he didn't suffer too many losses. He didn't suffer any wasted mining time. It was just, you know, it was a pain in the ass still, but then nothing that he couldn't afford to.
Yeah, all Turuk really did was, hey, I dealt 1,000 damage to the shields of a Nexus, and maybe a little bit of superficial damage to the actual hull, but that's not gonna account for anything, as we now have Daisy coming in with an Oracle. Oracle is gonna be able to get in a lot of kills here. All the Marines are on the low ground, and now it's gonna be how many workers can I kill?
That's so smart. That's so smart. Daisy is now forcing. He's forcing Turuk's hand, really, because he says, okay, either you get back to your own base and try to defend this Oracle, and this is how you won't lose your main base, or you defend your natural, and you are going to lose a lot of things in your main. And 3 Marines is something that a single Oracle can take down easily. I think the sweet number is 4. 4 Marines is something that barely gets an Oracle killed. Oracle is just so good against Marines, and Turuk has to be worried now. There's a Viking and 4 Marines in the base now, and he didn't let go. Although, no, these bunkers are getting salvaged, and I think Daisy is just preparing himself to attack the Terran now.
Alright, we have the Mothership Core in position. A Time Warp could be used in order to perhaps slow the ramp. Any more Marines, any reinforcements. All we see is 1 siege tank, 1 bunker, and a whole bunch of Oracles, Zealots, and Stalkers coming in from Daisy. Daisy, however, is not going to release the pressure. He wants to make sure he has a follow-up plan, setting up an expansion, and surprisingly, Daisy is supply blocked at 84 over 84. He's going to be starting to float in a lot more gas and minerals. He wants to train up more, but here we go. Easier way to free up supply, get some units killed.
Oh my god, and the bunker goes down, and I'm not sure it's a smart idea to throw workers when your siege tanks are providing cover fire. And the siege tanks go down, and we have GG from Turuk. Such a strong play by Daisy. He takes down the game, and this is the game number 1, guys. We are still going to perhaps go into the full best of 3. I know this edition of the tournament has the tendency of having only 2-0 results of a match, but hey, there's a new hope on the horizon. Turuk also very strong. So anyway, Crota, what are your thoughts about the tournament so far?
Tournament so far, it's run really smooth. I mean, our downtime is pretty much nil to none. If it wasn't in the middle of my workday, I would be able to tweet it a little bit more, because like I need to make up the time, and I can't let my boss know that I'm actually casting Starcraft 2 right now.
Are you not afraid that you'll get caught?
I have a pretty good relationship with my boss, and he knows that I make up my time.
All right. Okay.
I'm working from home, so that I have a little bit of leniency there, where I do, you know, pull in other time, but I may get pulled off.
I won't be asking any more questions on that topic. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, but still, it's great that you are here. It's great to be co-casting with you. So, could you tell us more about your previous experience as a caster? Because we hadn't had time to talk before the tournament. As you said, it's quite early in the morning for you right now.
Oh well, it's actually about noontime for me, so not too bad. I'm pretty awake. It's good. I'm on the Pacific coast of the USA.
Oh, could you join the game, by the way? Sorry to interrupt you.
Join the game, of course.
Yeah.
But casting-wise, I originally started casting Warcraft 3, and then I got invited to the Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty beta, and I've been casting that ever since. I think I have more than 4,000 videos on YouTube on my channel, plus probably a couple hundred on Machinima as well. I've cast a number of local events.
Wow.
Been able to cast with Frodan from NASL. Able to cast with Day 9. That was a really good weekend, and just making a splash in the local community.
All right, that's an awesome resume, my friend. I hope one day I will reach that too. For now, I'm just trying to nibble my way to the international scene and see how it goes. All right, guys. So we're into the next game right now. Daisy is up 1-0 against Turuk, and here he is spawning as the red Protoss in the top left corner of the Aquilon Wastes map.
Meanwhile, we have Turuk spawning as the purple Terran over here on the bottom right. Daisy, a 1-0 victory earlier, just moments ago. Very impressive style, I gotta say. Turuk invested a lot in an attack that didn't really do too much, so we'll see if Turuk's strategy is going to change. Now,
and it was kind of interesting to see how that played out, because you would expect if you get 2 bunkers near Protoss's base, then it's going to deal tons of damage, and I was nearly certain that Daisy is going to lose his expansion, but due to his very patient style of play, very precise positioning again, my god, he just dealt with that and completely sidestepped away from the potential threat. He just, moved away from the bunkers. He has been patient for a minute or two, where his force has been building up, when he has been gathering enough energy on that mothership core, and all of that combined led to the fact that he didn't lose pretty much anything with that attack.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times, new players of Starcraft tend to overreact. They see, oh my gosh, a bunker. Oh my gosh, 2 bunkers sitting there. I need to throw everything at it. And he's like, and all Daisy says, like, okay, there's 2 bunkers. I got a Marine in my base, essentially. I got a 400 hit point Marine in my base.
Yeah.
I'll leave it alone. He's not next to any probes, and then I'll macro up behind this. I'll use the energy from my Nexus's the extra Nexus Chrono Boost to Chrono Boost back my main base, get up more units, and then push him out. And I think that was just a strong, cool, and calculated move by Daisy.
Yeah, I think so too. And Daisy is one of these very cold and calculated players, if you could say so. Turuk, on the other side, is one of these who are very passionate, and when they are playing, sometimes this passion doesn't work for them or in their favor, because they are trying to deal too much too quickly. But sometimes they manage to catch their opponent off guard. So we will see. Anyway, Turuk going for a very fast expansion after 1 Rax. The Reaper is already on its way. Right now, guys, a reminder for those of you who are just starting to hear about Heart of the Swarm, that Reapers no longer require tech labs, so you can build as many of them as you like right off the bat. Now, the problem with the Heart of the Swarm changes is that Reapers have lost their how was it called, battlefield awareness ability, where they were they were able to see up cliffs. That's no longer the case, and they are very much back to the old concept of Reaper, except the fact that they no longer require a tech lab and they heal outside combat.
Oh, don't forget, they also do a lot less damage. You can see this one-on-one fight, Reaper versus a Zealot. The Zealot he feels like he's getting shot by a pea shooter. He's like, okay, I'll walk back home. I'll back up the ramp. I think a Reaper takes 9 shots, or what is it? It's 8 or 6 shots now to take down a drone because of the natural regeneration. So Reapers inside your mineral line isn't nearly as scary. They've also lost the D8 charges, so they're not able to destroy buildings.
No more throwing grenades.
No more throwing grenades, which would, part of me always wondered why. How come they couldn't like throw the D8 charge at a probe? Wouldn't that be better in terms of damage? Like, that makes more sense. Isn't the grenade 4 units? Come on.
There's a lot of things in StarCraft that would make a lot more sense. For example, if you shoot down a factory, you would imagine that the building that falls to the ground will deal a lot of damage to the army below it, but hey, none of that happens. You would imagine that if you stim up a single marine and tell him to scout out the army and sacrifice himself, he will just stand up and say, "No way I'm going to do this, boss." Not today, not in my lifetime.
Yeah, not I don't know. I don't know if you've read the StarCraft books, but those Marines have been reprogrammed. So
Yeah, they
they they,
have.
they, they may they may go. You know what? Sure, that sounds like a good idea to me. I'll let you know what I see
Yeah,
in
so
my dying moments.
so from the perspective of a marine, perhaps there are just ponies and a lot of candy waiting on the other side, and he just sees a colossi being a huge pile of ice cream, and he says, "Oh, I need to see that from up close." Have you seen the Meet the Pyro movie from Team Fortress 2?
I have not seen that.
Ah, that's so
Unfortunately.
crazy. They just show, Pyro is the one who all they fear. He's hidden behind the mask. He runs around with a flamethrower, and they just showed how it looks from his perspective. And everything was basically covered in rainbow and candies. And when he was shooting from his flamethrower, he thought he's just giving out candy to children. And all of the characters were dying around and said, "Oh, that's a psycho! Get out!" But anyway, back to the mothership harassment. Mothership you also used as a scouting tool in Terran vs Protoss. He uses time warp ability. I'm not really sure why Turuk has backed his workers away. Maybe he got scared, but hey. Anyway, nothing. Let's sum up the game because we have went off topic for a while there. We have 3 gates and a robo. There's an observer on the way right now for Daisy. Mothership has done its scouting round, doesn't want to linger too long around Turuk's base. Also has to be careful about the Widow Mines because 2 Widow Mines can easily take down a mothership. And this observer is now going to scout the rest. As far as Turuk goes, he's going for mech heavy army. So we are going to see how mech works in favor of the Terran in Terran versus Protoss.
Alright, I really like the play by Daisy here. Daisy took a look around Turuk's base and realized that, you know what, you don't really have much of an army, so I'm gonna actually expand before you. That's generally a risky move. You saw that there was a Widow Mine, or attempted Widow Mine drop coming in from Turuk, and Turuk is pretty much trying to find a way to deal damage. I believe he has the larger army, but he's not really able to capitalize on it. He has Widow Mines, but if a unit's not attacking at this stage in the game, it could have been better resources spent trying to gather more resources. So right now, I think Daisy, even though he is behind, is in a much better position.
Against Protoss, I think that proxy factory play is actually much stronger than just Widow Mine drops because you don't need a medivac to get a Widow Mine inside the Protoss's base, and if you are, if you hit the timing right, you can get it straight into his mineral line anyway. But then sometimes you need to dig it into the ground and take down a couple of units before he gets any sort of, vision for you. But hey, we'll see. Like we said before, right now a lot of things are still being defined, so players are checking different play styles to see how they work out. And now Turuk taking out the rocks. He wants to secure another base of his own using barracks right in front. Barracks have a lot of health and provide a lot of vision, so that's actually a very cool move that not too many players do. And moving out with his Hellions. So what do you think will happen now?
Alright, at this point I think Turuk is going to try and do a run-in into this third base. If Daisy transfers too many probes, those Hellions are going to catch a lot of probes there. You can see Daisy perhaps listening to my words, deciding to bring down that rock tower already. And Turuk now needs to deal some economic damage. If he doesn't deal any serious damage at this point, allowing the Protoss to just macro up and have a superior tech and that just all-important death ball is going to be too difficult. You can see Protoss air weapons level 1 already being researched. The Void Rays are going to be coming out as Hellions now simply walking their way. Oh, this is going to be bad here. All the Hellions simply destroying all the probes. The Hellions pretty much know, you know what? As long as I take down 5 or 7 probes, I am good. But they're focusing down Stalkers instead.
And a couple of Widow Mines in the main, not so good. Even despite the cannon there, Daisy has lost so many workers. Oh, what? Wait, not so many after all. After all, with superior reflexes, he has only lost 11 probes in this attack. Oh my god, Daisy's so good.
Yeah, Daisy with multiple attacks. The Hellions were attacking Stalkers instead of going after probes. You can see that there was a change in focus as Turuk tried to get the Widow Mines inside the main base. That didn't kill nearly as many as he would have liked. I believe 3 or 4 workers were killed. Once a Widow Mine is buried, gets off its one shot. It's like a one-hit wonder before any additional damage is dealt. And we're pretty even at this point, a 10 supply discrepancy, but Daisy does have the superior army, while Turuk has a 9 worker advantage.
By the way, one of the changes I see between Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm is that players are much more favoring towards building cannons in their natural lines, in their mineral lines, and that pretty much goes for every race. Zerg build their own spine crawlers and spore crawlers. The Terran are pretty much used to building turrets by now because of the Oracle harassment. So I would say that you know, just cannons in general are going to be a factor that has a huge impact on Starcraft 2.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest changes is also the Mutalisk speed increase, where Stalkers with Blink before, you know what, I can get to the Mutalisk in time and try to push them away. Mutalisk, now that they move just a little bit faster, able to do that harassment, and thereby adding in that photon cannon. There's so many things that you do need to be aware of.
And oh my god, Daisy is going for carriers right now.
Ooh, carriers with the Graviton catapult. But he will be going up against Thors. The question will be whether or not Turuk changes his attack from the high impact payload, as the splash damage doesn't do anything extra to those void rays or to those carriers, as the carriers are just so large.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new Thors in action, to be honest, in a major battle. I've seen Thors after, you know, in the beta, but I haven't seen the changes that you can take with what you mentioned. Anyway, Daisy playing around with the Hellions here, or should we say Turuk playing around with Daisy. A lot of Zealots get destroyed, but then a lot of Hellions too, so that's kinda trade, and it works in neither of the players' favor. These rocks here are getting slowly but surely destroyed by Turuk. And now Daisy's army surrounded by Hellions. Not sure that Daisy was kinda expecting this.
Yeah, there's just simply too many Hellions here. Turuk has 2 upgrades on all of these Hellions, so the Hellions are actually dealing a lot of damage up compared to the non-upgraded Stalkers. But here comes the Void Rays.
Yeah, here comes the Void Rays and also the carriers, and also one Tempest. Hey, wait for me! So I'm just keen to see how this plays out. Turuk also has a huge Sky Force. He has a lot of Thors, a lot of siege tanks, but then Daisy probably won't be having too much of a ground army. So we will see how the Sky Toss works in late game. I think Tempest is great, although I kinda regret the fact that they took the splash damage away from it. It has been such a good unit, and now Tempest just dealing a lot of damage to massive units, so it's a straight up counter to things like battle cruisers. Although then you can counter that by having a Raven with your army that has the point defense drone ability. Anyway, we will see how this plays out. These rocks here are newly taken down, and the Hellions will be shortly able to get straight into the mineral line there, and I think Turuk is trying to time his attack to do exactly that.
Alright, in come the Hellion, and down go a lot of probes. He's also freeing up a lot of supply in order to train up more units. More Vikings are being replaced, or replacing every Hellion that goes down. And I think Turuk is just going to catch Daisy off guard. Daisy has no idea that Turuk has just freed up a whole bunch of supply in order to go Sky Terran. You can see 7 Vikings.
Oh yes.
Thors are on the ground, and this is going to be extremely painful. You mentioned earlier that Tempest deal bonus damage to Massive, but most people don't know they do not deal bonus damage to Massive on ground.
Yes,
so the Thors...
That's a huge difference, and most players take it for sure that, okay, take it for granted, sorry, that this also deals bonus damage to massive ground targets, because, oh yeah, kinetic overload, surely it's a counter to Thors. No, it isn't. To Thors, it only will deal 36 points of damage, which is not too much altogether.
Yeah, especially when you compare it to the Thor's attack, which is dealing 56 damage, 56 damage per attack as well, and it also attacks slightly faster than the Tempest. I believe the Tempest is one of the slowest attacking units behind the Widowmine, slightly slower than a siege tank in siege mode.
Oh yes, but also it has a similar range, so I guess it's only fair. If you would have flying siege tanks, if you could get a medivac to carry a siege tank, strap it to its back, and the siege tank shoot from high above, that would be awesome. But then Daisy moving out, and the armies are just missing on each other. They have... Will there be a base trade? No, I don't think so. Daisy is getting back. A lot of scans went though, and Turuk is ready for the positioning, and he has superior force. I feel army supply is hugely in favor of Turuk, although he didn't get his stores with his attack. His stores are kind of bunched up here near the third base. I'm not sure that will work in favor of him, and all the Tempests are being taken down now by the Vikings, so it's a very close trade, to be honest.
Yeah, Turuk right now training up 7 Vikings back at home. One base does get taken down very quickly. The Thors and the siege tanks are all in position here, and you can see the high impact payload with that very far range, able to shoot down those Tempests still rather quickly. And we are still going to see an engagement here. The Void Ray needs to activate its ability in order to get additional bonus damage. Carriers are getting taken down, and I think Turuk just did a very smart calculation there. He knew that his stores were going to be too slow, just decided to attack with the Vikings, whittle down the numbers, but now Daisy showing his micro, getting in some siege tanks and some Psystorm, trying to slow Turuk in his tracks.
Well, it's a very close battle, to be honest. I'm not really able to tell who is going to win. If Daisy positions himself a little bit better, perhaps he may be able to take down the ground army, but then a lot of Zealots on the ground, yeah, and I think that will be it. Daisy will clear this out, and we'll just see who has the better follow-up after this. I mean, Daisy has lost his expansion, which is a huge blow to his economy, but he also has another one here in the south, so it seems kind of equal right now, although Turuk has better production facilities and a higher supply advantage. Let's also check the upgrades. Turuk is going for +2 ship weapon and +3 plating. And by the way, plating works for both air and ground vehicles right now, so mech is much more viable when you mix up different units, both ground army and air army. We will see. This game looks kinda in favor of Turuk, but we will see. Daisy has been down a lot of times, and he always came back. So, you know, what do you think will happen?
I think Turuk at this point, he can focus individual sites. He can start choking them out. There's not much that Daisy can really do unless we see some amazing micro here with Psystorm. And yes, the Hellbats are getting caught out of position. Are we going to see some more Psystorm coming in? The Thors are trying to engage up against. This is not looking good as both sides are exchanging. Turuk is actually losing more per unit. But
oh my
Daisy,
god, and
GG! Yeah.
GG is called. Guys, we'll be going into a very quick commercial break. I just realized my tablet from where I run the production for the show isn't charging, so I just need to get a bucket of electricity and charge it up back away. So don't go anywhere. I hope you enjoyed the tournament and our cast.